Hello!
Oh, extra time.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still emotionally racked. That's not true.
Are you? I don't feel emotionally racked
I'm feeling pretty zen, honestly.
We are here to carry on. What do we want to do first? Do
I think we should do them in the order they appeared in. I think we do tips first.
All right.
So tips. We'll do tips, and then we'll do the staff room, and then we'll go find that extra scene that we're going to have to spend some time unlocking again, I think. The Forbidden Treasure. Onigari no Ryu. Onigari no Ryu? I think that's right. It's the most valuable asset of the Furude Shrine that's kept in the ritual storehouse.
I believe it's Ryo.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Ryo. Right. Sorry, my bad.
I was thinking of something else before that
right.
changes it.
That's what I'm concerned about, but I'm going to say Ryo. Also, I think I know what this is about. This is something...
Too bad. Let's find out.
No. I need to say this before you continue. This has been much topic of discussion with the recently airing Higurashi no Nakakaroni Go, because there was weird shit happening in the ritual storehouse. That's all I'm going to say. Oh. So people can talk about this Onigari no Ryo. That's kept in the ritual storehouse. In ancient times, when this place was the chaotic world of both humans and demons, this precious sword defeated the demon god. However, nobody has seen it for 1,000 years. According to the legend, it is sealed in the statue dedicated to Oishiro-sama in the ritual storehouse. Because of its structure, as long as the belief in Oishiro-sama continues, it will remain a forbidden tool forever sealed away. Also, it is only mentioned in the forbidden scrolls of the Furude Shrine. Therefore, only a handful of the Furude family heads have ever known about its existence. According to several of these forbidden scrolls, the sword is shaped like a willow branch. There are some ink paintings on the sword even, made by a few Furude heads, but none of them match that description. That means they drew those pictures from their imagination, so nobody's seen the damn thing. The legend says there was a girl named Oka who received a divine message that commanded her to defeat the demon god. It's like some Joan of Arc shit. However, neither the swords of humans or demons could conquer the demon god. It would require a blade that was neither a human sword nor a demon sword. Only a sword that mixes human and demon qualities could defeat the demon god. It has been said repeatedly that the ancestors of Inamizawa are half demon and half human. Thanks for the reminder. Oka Furude is said to be the first person whose blood was mixed in that way. This description is what conveys that. Heaven gave Oka a precious sword. The precious sword was shaped like a willow branch. Its tip split 3 ways to stab the 3 hearts of a demon, which symbolized heaven, earth, and people in unity. It also symbolized the harmony between heaven, demons, and humans. Oka headed to the swamp where the demon god hid and defeated him with his treasured sword. Each forbidden scroll describes how she defeated the demon god differently. Some say she disciplined him, some say he ran away, some say he surrendered. What happened to the demon god afterwards is unclear too. The oldest scroll says the precious sword destroyed the demon god's horn, but other books don't mention that. The precious sword that defeated the demon god was then enshrined and was named Onigari no Ryo. Oka sealed this precious sword in the deepest place of the shrine to hide its existence forever. Even if it was created to slay the demon god, the sword didn't belong in this world anymore and shouldn't exist on the face of the earth. Some said that was why it was removed from the human world, but some said Oka was the daughter of the demon god and that she wanted to banish the sword that killed her mother. The ancient cult of Oishiro-sama suggested Oishiro-sama was this demon god. Spoilers. That's why I knew it has the Kraken horns.
Yo, that's crazy.
I guess. Look, I've never read this before. I'm learning things. The source of chaos, the source of all that was evil, and the source of all friction to prevent the demon god from returning to the human world through worship and comfort is the root of that ancient cult. Well, it is a demon cult. This may be a type of cult devoted to an evil god. This idea that it's not worship for protection but to stave off a curse links very slightly, just a little bit, to the modern worship of Oishiro-sama, but seems slightly distant from the modern worship that asks for Oishiro-sama's blessings and sees him as a god of marriage and good relationships. It fosters the argument that humans are good by nature, saying that all discord is the work of Oishiro-sama and there are no demons in the world of man. After that, the legend continues on to what we know today, the harmony of humans and demons. But in this era, all the scrolls and the origin of the belief in Oishiro-sama and the scrolls of the matriarch of the Furude family have been sealed due to being very forbidden, extremely forbidden. Dancing is forbidden. That happened probably because the new image of Oshiro-sama, that of a loving and affectionate god, and the ancient image of Oshiro-sama, the source of all evil, didn't quite match up quite well. It became too difficult to explain the faith's doctrine. Also, if one believes the forbidden scrolls, the Furude family was descended from one who killed her own mother. That would mean their blood was super cursed. Wouldn't want that. If all of that is true, then today's faith is very different from the one that was started by the matriarch. One of the leaders of the Furude family from hundreds of years ago wrote this. The Onigiri no Ryo, the legendary precious sword, is a symbol of both the Furude family and the sins of the human world. It was an era where people pushed the source of their evil onto others and could only purify their sins by killing one another. The matriarch, took in the root of all evil herself and let her child murder her. That was how this place was freed from the chaos. There you go. The matriarch usually means Okafurude, but sometimes it means her mother. The notion that the matriarch was the demon god was a taboo among the Furude family. However, obviously some leaders interpreted it that way. When the Furude family, or when the world of man commits the foolish act of seeking to blame others and tries to return to the world of demons, that is when faith will disappear and the statue's head will shatter. That's when the Onigiri no Ryo will reappear to us. There you go. The second coming will once again revive the memory of the Furude family's forgotten sins. Is the demon god a fictional legend? Yes. Or someone who actually existed? Yes. In some rare cases, babies were born with horns and they were called children of the demon god. Descendants of the Furude family who will read this. The myths passed down by our forbidden scrolls are numerous and their content vastly differs. But don't get caught up in the smoke. This is an official document. Don't get caught up in the smoke. No matter how different all these scrolls are, there is one thing that they all want to convey. Search the heart of Oka Furude, the one who sealed the Onigiri no Ryo forever. That is the fate that all the Furude family members the leaders must understand. We got there. And now we know about the Onigiri no Ryo, the very important sword that is not a sword.
That's right.
We learned about how that was the first sacrifice to do the blood thing.
What a fucking bizarre tip. I love how much that actually feels like religious history though.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like so many contradictions that just fit in with each other. Mm-hmm. It's excellent.
And just finding that nugget of truth. That's all you gotta do. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to staff room. Let's hear from Ryukishi himself.
That's all that matters.
Hello, this is Ryukishi 07.
Are we doing voices for Ryukishi now? We haven't done this before.
Wasn't there a voice I did for him?
No, you just read it.
This is the voice.
You read it wistfully and...
Oh, fine.
And
you're no fun. You're trying to ruin my, doing a dumb bit.
I mean, listen, you're welcome to continue doing your dumb bit. I just want you to acknowledge that you are doing this breaking precedent.
I don't care. I want to do a silly voice for a bit. I'll get tired of it quick enough.
Carry on.
Hello, this is Ryukishi 07.
Well, now you're just being boring.
What do you mean? What do you want from me, Felix?
I don't know, Ben. I
just want to read this lovely message
I want you to put your heart out on the table instead of molding yourself to my image.
What do you mean? I did that. I was like, this is Ryukishi 07. And you were like, nah, don't do that. That's dumb.
At no point did I say don't do that. I said we haven't done this previously.
Yeah, and now you're like, oh, it's going to ruin everything. Everybody will hate you. All the viewers in the comments will be like, man,
unbelievable,
Ben's the worst.
Ben.
Magus, more like Bagus. That's what they'll say.
This is terrible. You've ruined everything in both directions.
Yeah, that was the goal. Hello, this is Ryukishi 07. Thank you for playing Matsuri Bayashi. No, thank you very much for playing Higurashi When They Cry until the very end, because there were no more stories after this. Stop milking it for cash. Okay.
That clipped so hard.
Sorry. I had to. That's how you know there was real emotion behind it. You know it was a real feeling of I'm sick of it. All right. Control yourself, Ryukishi. I know the billions of dollars are very tempting. Matsuri Bayashi is, in a way, the solution episode for the situation with Takano and the kids, starting from halfway through Higurashi. It's such a strange way to put it. How can they defeat Takano's conspiracy? How can they reach their ideal ending? I wrote this episode as a duel between you, the reader, and me, the writer. It felt like a duel, didn't it?
Did it?
It was a very challenging circumstance.
I guess we did skip the entire game because someone didn't think we were up to it.
I thought I'd just waste time. It's fine. So if you think you create a better resolution world than my Matsurubayashi, that means you've defeated Ryukishi 07 in this duel. I, Ryukishi 07, have provided 2 resolutions. One is how to fight against Takano. First, here is a hint from the Higurashi chapter. You find out about Tako's conspiracy, which relies on Emergency Manual 34. Next, here are hints from the Watanagashi and Miyakashi chapters. It has been 48 hours after Rika's death, yet the village is peaceful. He's going to spill everything. All the beans are out. If you put those 2 things together, obviously the basis of the emergency manual, which Shifumi Takano wrote, that everyone will develop terminal symptoms within 48 hours, isn't true. When you put those 2 together, you can realize that if Rika's body was discovered 48 hours after her death, then it's possible to prevent the final operation. In the Matsurubayashi chapter, I wrote about an attacking side and a defending side like a novel. What do you mean, like a novel? If I were to
You have to understand, these fucking visual novel puritans.
They're not real novels. Yeah, okay, whatever. If I were to simply write about the resolution, all I had to write was for Oishi to announce that Rika died at least 48 hours ago and Takano's conspiracy would fall apart once the news reached Tokyo. He's right! That was rather an easy solution, like a puzzle, so I'm sure many of you got this right. The other resolution was the ideal ending for this world. To answer this, I had to explain the worldview of this story first. There are hints all over, but the crucial ones are in the Higurashi and Minigurashi chapters. So what I'm hearing is that the Higurashi and the Onikakushi fans are left out in the cold.
That's right.
That's what I'm hearing.
They're useless.
I'm hearing that Ryukishi doesn't care about Ren at all.
Correct.
Seneca's uncle comes home and Seneca's life becomes miserable. How could she be rescued from that situation? You could shoot him. Shoot the man. If this story was an exercise in murder, then the Higurashi chapter is the correct answer. Keiichi kills Teppei and hides his body well. There's a happy ending, but I didn't end the episode that way. Instead, I denied it with a bad ending. The resolution, the worldview of Higurashi when the Crane advocates, is a non-violent one, with everyone united together, that is established in question chapters such as Onikakushi, Watanagashi, and Higurashi. In those worlds, when somebody becomes suspicious about everything and worries about it alone, things get worse and that leads to a tragedy. The Miyakashi chapter is a sublimation of that situation. It's a good little bit of alliteration there. On the other hand, when one talks to their friends, it's revealed that the causes of the tragedy are quite silly. This is dedicated to the Sumi Horoboshi and Minigurashi episodes, the best chapters. In other words, can you see that in the worlds of Higurashi, anything can be overcome when people talk to each other and help one another? Unfortunately, that doesn't happen in reality. Helping each other creates friction, and oftentimes working alone is a lot simpler. However, we always hope that we can connect with other people and understand each other so that we can face any difficulty. In that sense, this world is a fantasy. That's right. In the worlds of Higurashi, there is one magical rule, that is to talk to others and accept help from them. Then you can defeat anything. With that, it is possible to make a miracle happen. If that could be cast into an absolute rule, it would be a sort of magical, systematic miracle. Just like what Hanyu and her friends said in the story. That is the worldview of Higurashi when they cry. If you follow that rule and think about an ideal ending, I bet the first thing you'll think about is an ending where all the club members unite and defeat Takano. Actually, there are scenes in the Matsurubayashi chapter that affirm that sort of ending. However, at the same time, Takano is described as a very lonely person. By doing so, I raise a question about the resolution. Everyone else unites, defeats Takano, and makes her into a sacrifice. This is a happy ending for everyone except Takano. It is a very popular style of story for the protagonists to unite together and sacrifice the antagonist. Aliens come to the Earth to invade us, so the world unites and defeats the aliens. Hooray for humans, and we must all get along. This is a very popular storyline all around the world. There are plenty of stories that use aliens, devils, or monsters as clear bad guys and make them into sacrifices. Two parties fighting with each other become allies once the third party shows up. Storylines like these are indeed exciting and total cop-outs. Shout out to StarCraft 2. Anyway, by adding a sacrifice, can I tell you, that is literally the story where I was like, oh my god, they're doing that thing that I hate. And I
had the same reaction, and that was before we met.
Really? Well, there you go. We both hate StarCraft 2. Specifically the third chapter. The first two chapters are pretty good. By adding a sacrifice, like the gods of the ancient world, differing parties unite and become allies to create the situation. There has to always be the third party, the sacrifice as well. I'm sure many of those who created such stories must have already noticed that. We always add a third enemy that can't possibly unite with us. To make up with each other, we try to find a common enemy. Am I the only one who feels that describes our world today? No comment. In reality, this world belongs only to humans. There are no aliens or devils or monsters. So for us to find an enemy, we'll have to fight each other forever through the power of multimedia. To make up with each other, we need a new enemy, so we just end up fighting someone else. In this chapter, Higurashi declared that to be the demon of the world of man. With these explanations of the worldview here in mind, do you wonder if the resolution of defeating Takano is in fact an ideal resolution of the Matsubayashi chapter? That's right. It's basically the same foolishness found in Higurashi. According to that logic, the Higurashi chapter isn't the best resolution of the problems that surround Sadako either. Do you understand that? How can they make up with Takano? You wouldn't suggest to make Tokyo into a new enemy and let the club members join with Takano, would you? If I continue to talk about this issue, I'll probably end up mentioning something religious, so let me stop the heck here. What kind of ending would be the best outcome following the worldview of Higurashi when they cry? Perhaps it's something better than the Matsubayashi chapter. You can consider this a graduating question for Higurashi when they cry. Maybe I'll leave it as my final gift to those who enjoyed this tale for 4.5 years. Thank you for reading this extremely complicated story. In the end, what was all this for? If I were to put the answer to that question in one word, it would be entertainment. It's not important if you were able to answer the riddles. After all, if you enjoyed yourself, you won. Ryukishi 07 will continue to challenge you. Higurashi, when they cry, ends here, but I hope I get to see you again in another different world. What kind of work do I want to create next? Maybe it's fitting to choose my next work from an infinite number of possibilities while listening to the chorus of the Higurashi. I want to express my gratitude to all the people who have supported me until today. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Ryukishi 07. And that's it.
Finally.
Thanks, Ryukishi.
Thanks, Ryukishi.
You're the best. I love you, man.
He's quite a nice little chum, isn't he?
Yeah, I love that guy.
So proud of him.
I want to meet him one day.
Could you imagine, listen, I know we were talking about our own dumb book last episode, which, obviously we're doing it and it's, a serious thing, but, I'm not treating it terribly seriously.
Well, that's fine. It's still early days.
Well, it's I guess we'll see, by the time this comes out, how I feel about it. And maybe we could even edit a bit in about ourselves discussing that or do it in the post-edit.
I mean, that's why we have the post-edit recap, right?
Or, actually, you could just go subscribe to the Death of the Reader and listen to us talk about it in real time.
You can listen to the episodes.
But, I kind of imagine that was a similar place to where Ryukishi started with Onokakashi, right? It was probably just a fun thing for him to do to see if he could do it. The same way that this book kind of began for us.
Do you know his backstory? Have I told you this? Surely
we have.
He's you wrote a theater play, didn't do so. I was I could make this into a little story. And what if I go my brother do the coding and da-da-da-da-da?
Yeah.
It was great.
Which is more or less what we've done. We've done a lot of creative stuff that and not to say that it's not gone well, but just hasn't really been public as such. We've done quiet little things on the side to kind of entertain ourselves.
Sure.
And, Ryukishi here is kind of, it's interesting imagining that he probably started in a similar place to us and ended up going on this 4.5 year journey. Hello, we're 4 years into this show as well. And just, the kind of catharsis of getting to the end of something this fucking massive.
Yeah.
This is a long fucking series of books.
Yeah. I mean, look, I didn't put it so well earlier, but the fact that that epilogue was so long, but it's because Ryukishi is reluctant to let it go, right? He's holding on to this 4.5 year long journey with, the 8 arcs and all the fan meetups and the shilling and the emails and the crazy success that he's been having and da-da-da-da-da. And so he's sitting here, I need to finish this story. I need to wrap everything up. I need to feel like I've said goodbye to all of the characters in a proper way. Even old Uncle Kimiyoshi with his piles.
That's right.
Everybody, needs to get their proper send off. And you can feel that with all the works that he sort of puts together, right? That he always has this great love for the worlds that he creates and the characters that he writes.
I suppose on the same note, obviously I have a very particular relationship with Umineko, which I won't go into here, but I think
go watch the other playthrough.
That's right. On a similar note, I feel as though this story is a really good example of why when you're making shit, you just have to keep making shit.
Sure.
Right? This was a small project from a play that, failed more or less.
Sure.
But because he went on and did something else and kept putting shit together until it stuck, it got somewhere. And like, if you are a creative individual, that's just what you have to do. Like, if you are, I mean, it's what you have to do in any field, really. But I think particularly for creative fields, there's no set structure that you can go for where you're like, I will achieve this, then this, and progress up your career. Like, obviously, you know, things are getting more non-linear as people jump between companies and all of that sort of shit that happens in corporate environments. But I think that, you know, look at this story as an example of something that just kind of was a bedroom family project after Ryukishi's play, you know, flopped.
Well, I think it was for a contest rather than actually being put on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't go anywhere.
And like, you know, fucking look at what we have now. We have 3 entire series, like... What?
Well, how dare you say 3? There's at least 6 of them. It's Rose Gun Days, a Hikabana. How dare you forget?
In When They Cry, specifically. You know... We've got the anime adaptations of it, and then I was going to get into it and say, and his other works, and I've preempted me, and now it seems silly.
Yeah, you do seem silly.
Anyway, point is, guys, just make shit.
It's true.
Just keep making stuff.
Make cool stuff.
Just make
and show people
more stuff.
Put it up online. Put it on itch.io or YouTube or whatever the fuck platform you want to do.
Because it's
Find your local community radio station.
You know what's a good thing? Go play through Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
Go play it.
Because I feel like the message of that game and what I'm trying to say here and what you can see in Ryukishi's work tie together quite nicely. It's a good little grouping.
I don't know what that game is, but I'll go play it right now. It's happening.
Oh God,
as soon as this recording ends.
Oh, that will be here for hours. You will.
Okay.
You will die.
Okay.
Anyway,
is that the one where it's the guy in the bucket?
Yes.
Oh God, it is. Okay.
Let's get that extra scene.
Yeah, let's go for it. All right, now we find out if we've doomed ourselves, and public opinion is that we have. So,
we're just gonna edit it so we haven't, no matter what happens.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, people will know, but yeah, let's just load that save and see what happens. The connecting fragments, yeah. September 11. Goddamn. So if we click connecting fragments. Let's see what it does. Go to the last page. Because I assume we hadn't read that one.
Yeah, we specifically stopped before the last page.
Yeah. So we're up to that one on the left there.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, let's read. Just control through it, and then we'll see. We'll see. Yep, and then do the other one. To the other one. I'll do the third one. And this is Akasaka's punch up fight club thing. What a ridiculous scene. It is very weird to be looking at this scene again when it's just been uploaded to YouTube. Okay. God damn, this was 3 months ago we read this? Fuck. It feels crazy. Whoa! It was dragon-like, like a locomotive, a dragon locomotive, a dragotive. And he regretted not being there, and so he was able to time travel with his will, because that's how spirits work. All right, is that it? Is that it? Yeah!
It fucking worked!
I fucking knew it!
Fuck you, the comments!
All of you who doubted me, who said, why did you go through the thing the first time? You just had to do it again. Fuck you! No, actually don't. Please watch our videos. We appreciate you. But yeah, look, I was fucking right. I did it. I did the thing. It all worked out. So now, because...
Everyone else just doesn't save
people just don't save properly or early enough. So get wrecked. Because we listened to my smart decisions and went through with the secret code guide and everything, we only had to control through 2 fragments instead of like 50 and also doing everything again. So let's... Fuck! Flags for Kid Meals. She needs to be rescued too.
Let's do it.
I hope you're fucking ready. Take it away.
I'm going to play outside.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. A girl's cheerful voice echoed in the house. It was a tenement house, so walls were thin. So, of course, her yell carried through to the neighbors. But since it was a child's voice, nobody complained. I feel that.
I know I'm a grouchy old man. I complain about the kids.
I guess you will. I'll be parent. Miyoko, we're thinking about going to the mall. Oh, father, come on!
That's right. He just has a soft voice.
Oh, Miyoko, I'm your father. Listen to me. Her father's voice didn't reach the girl because all she was thinking about was making a new secret base with her friends in the field. Her father knew the girl had been looking forward to going to the mall and that if they went without her, she would be upset. He also knew that the girl liked collecting flags from the kids' meals at the restaurant there, and one more would bring her collection to 20 flags and true happiness. The girl was making a wish on those flags. She believed if she collected 20 of them, she could become happy. Oh well. He supposed he'd bring a flag home as a souvenir. It wouldn't be a big deal. If he asked a waitress, she'd bring one for him, assuming he came back. On that day, due to an accident, the trains were running behind schedule. To make up the time loss, drivers were braking a little too late and accelerating a bit too soon. It was rather unsafe. The Tanashi family didn't own a car. They always used a train to go to the mall. As the girl skipped her way to her friend's house, an unfamiliar woman stopped her. Obviously, she wasn't from around here. The ties between the neighbors were very tight around there. The girl knew everyone's face, so if there was a stranger, it was either a new mailman or someone who's lost. The woman said to the girl, "Do you want to live or do you want to die?" Any person would think the woman was crazy asking something like that. But the girl was too innocent to think that way. She answered immediately,
"I want to live."
"Okay, then go. Your friend isn't home, but go on."
"She isn't home."
The girl couldn't figure out why this woman would know that. As the woman left, the girl stopped her. She was curious, although it was a little scary as to what response she'd get if she answered differently.
"If I want to die, then what?"
"You'll get another flag from a kid's meal."
"Huh? Hey, that's not fair. They're going without me. That's not fair."
The girl turned and tried to run back home. "Are you sure you won't regret it?" The mysterious woman tried to confirm this.
"Why would I regret it?"
"I won't tell you. I'm very mean." The girl thought this was some kind of a riddle, so she pondered it for a while, but she couldn't figure it out. Then she clapped her hands as if she came to a conclusion.
"That's okay then."
"Why is it okay?"
"Because my parents will be with me."
The woman stepped aside. The girl bowed to her and ran home. She saw her parents locking the door to leave. The girl jumped on them and nagged them that she wanted to go too. The girl was going to the mall with her family. The family headed to the train station, waited for a train to arrive, and got on it. The driver was feeling the pressure to make up for the delay, and the passengers could tell that from the way he was driving. The girl noticed the unusual swaying of the train. She stood on her knees and looked out the window. Her mother told her to sit down because it was dangerous. The girl stuck her tongue out. Then the train reached a very big and very sharp curve. The train tilted in that direction and all the people were shoved to the side. They were all squished together and grumbled about it. Then the train continued to... what's going to happen? The train continued to... I hope it just cuts there. That'd be great. The girl and her parents came home under the sky full of stars with shopping bags in their hands.
It's a simple miracle.
It is. It could change a life. They unlocked the door, turned the lights on, and then the girl put her bags by the front door and ran into her room. She opened her desk drawer, took something out of her pocket and put it in. She closed the drawer once but opened it again, then spread her treasure on the tatami floor. There were the flags of many different countries that came with the kids' meals. The Japanese flag, the American flag, the English flag. Which country was this for? The one with 3 colors. Italy? I don't know.
Well, that's the joke, Ben.
Okay. She lined them up as she counted. She counted out loud. Then she danced around happily. For she now had 20 of them. It took her so long to collect that many. It was hard work for this girl who was so proud of herself for reaching her goal. She worked so hard that there must be something good waiting for her. She made a wish to become happy if she collected 20 of them. Therefore, something wonderful must be waiting to happen. The girl waited excitedly, but soon realized it wasn't a magic lamp, so no genie would be jumping out. Maybe it wouldn't happen that night, maybe it'd be tomorrow. The girl decided to wait patiently. She accomplished something as great as collecting 20 flags. Surely some wonderful happiness awaited. Surely some wonderful miracle awaited. Or perhaps it might be like a charm, keeping sad misfortunes at bay. The girl put her 20 flags back in the drawer. As she heard her mother tell her to brush her teeth and go to bed, she ran to the bathroom. I kind of love that. This is fine, isn't it? It's okay to get a miracle in advance. What should I do next? There are plenty of fragments to play with. What? You want to try too? It is fun. It makes you feel like God. A world with Satoshi, or a world where the Sonozaki sisters didn't switch. I wonder what a world with Satoko's parents and Rika's parents alive and well would be like. Oh, how about this? Akasaka is enticed to the enemy side by Takano. That sounds interesting. Personally, I'm curious about a world where Takano is madly in love with Tomitaki Flash. It'll be fun to match Keiichi with different girls, too. I love drama very, very much. Let's see, what should I do next? I have so many fragments. Hey, do you want some? What kind of world are you going to make?
I don't really know.
Oh, who's that talking? The world of Higurashi when they cry will move on even without us. There are many dreams, possibilities, and miracles in that world. There are innumerable fragments, all interweave with each other. I've shown you a small number of those fragments, but it's up to you to play with the rest of them. The world of Higurashi when they cry is now in your hands, is a big, wide world full of fragments, and they are yours to manipulate. Your dreams, your possibilities, your miracles are yours to discover. Trademark, Ryukishi 7. I thank you for joining me on this 4.5-year tale about this world. I thank all those who supported me during this tale about this world. I thank all the characters who brought this tale to life. I thank my family who were given their understanding to this work. I thank my co-workers who spent no effort for the sake of this work. I thank my friends who supported me during the creation of this work. And while I am the same person who created this work, I thank this work itself for the unforgettable 4.5 years it's given me. I thank the fact that I've left behind a legacy of this 4.5 years of work. I thank all those who sent me emails teaching me the joys of production. If I may leave you with one more piece, I'll leave you the joy of making a product of your own. I have nothing to show for the 4.5 years I spent in college. I simply spent my days without achieving anything. I left no proof that I was even alive during that time. If you feel the regret for this was what drove me to make this work, then I think we can meet again as friends. Then we can meet as friends, great. This is why I leave you this message. I look forward to the day we meet my friend Ryukishi 7. Dance your heart out.
It's the perfect
Fucking
ending to this story.
It's beautiful. Why do they
Because they didn't time it properly.
just fucking earpiece? Alright, let's do it.
Well, there you go, Ben.
That's the end.
We've
I guess.
officially
That's
reached
officially
the
the end.
actual final proper actual end.
The actual real end that actually
From which there is no follow-up properties.
Yeah, that's it. They didn't make anything else.
None more.
They left it in the hands of, a very ballsy but respectable way. Leave it in the hands of the audience to do with the characters in the world as they wished. So there
Possibilities of forever.
you go. There you go. We did it. That's the end.
It's the end.
I don't know.
Next time.
See you in the recap.